Ready, D?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're just talking, brother. All right.
Black Lions.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Jab Journals. I'm here at Arthur Lessel Community Center down in Monroe, Michigan. I'm sitting here with Dee Millz, Derrick Miller. Derrick, how we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Feeling good, feeling great.
Yeah. Now, I appreciate you meeting with us less than a week before your fight. June 21st at Motor City Casino Soundboard. How's training camp going? You ready for your fight?
Yeah, training camp has been doing good. I've had some good sparring matches. I feel well in shape. My brain feeling sharp. I think I've been really using my experience, and getting better and better in training camp. It's makes me way more confident for this fight.
Yeah. So going into your fighting Brian Houston, 5-1. We were kind of talking a little bit off camera. What have you seen like in your research of him and everything, and how do you think the fight's going to turn out?
Very good for me. I just feel like I know he's a bit older. He's got a lot of experience. I think he's got a bigger MMA background also. So that doesn't take anything away from what his record is in boxing.
Right.
But I never, take anybody lightly. I got to do what I got to do regardless. I just feel like my ways of boxing, it's like no way he can really affect me.
We were talking, and I asked you if you looked up any tape on him and stuff, and you said yeah, humbly. But I think, from what I've seen of you fighting, you're going forward, you're throwing a ton of punches, and you're applying pressure. Is that your game plan every fight?
Yeah, to throw more punches than my opponent. If I see my opponent throw a little combination, I know I got to throw me a little combination back, put the pressure back on him. I know going forward looks better, to the judges than backing up all the time from a fighter. So I'm always trying to stay right in the pocket and keep applying pressure, make these guys make mistakes.
Right. I saw your last fight against Adrian Taylor, another guy that had just under 20 pro fights, big amateur background. But you won every round, I think, pretty convincingly. But I think you won it based on your pressure. When you fight guys like that move around and box a little bit, do you feel like you have the upper hand because of the way you fight, moving forward and applying pressure like that?
Yeah, I do. Guys try to do a lot of different things, but I think it comes from the experience for me of going with so many different fighters that I'd spar with or I've fought in the past. I really feel like I'm ready for any style fighter. They say styles make fights, this and that, but I think with my experience and the way that my coaches train me, I feel like I'm ready for any style fighter, and I feel like I can put that pressure on any style fighter.
Yeah. So like I said, you're training one way, like you said, straight ahead, a lot of pressure. So would you say that conditioning is a big part of your training camp and focusing on that?
Yeah. Conditioning, training. Training the brain a lot, But yeah, running, hitting the bag, sparring with guys that are way bigger than me, because you know how that is in the ring, fighting guys that are bigger than you. They like to put their weight on you.
Right.
It makes you a lot more tired. But learning how to deal with that and sparring and things like that to prepare you for a fight that, I'm fighting guys that are always bigger than me anyway in this weight class, the cruiserweight.
Yeah, when I walked up today, I was like, man, you look like you're already on weight. And you're like, man, I'm 10 pounds underweight. You know what I mean? So, I looked at, on BoxRec, it'll show, what you weigh before a fight. You're always, around that 190, 193-ish. You know what I mean? Do you feel that gives you a little bit of an advantage, not having to cut all that weight before a fight?
I think so, I really think so. I actually get during my training camp, I don't got to worry about hopping back on and off the scale. When I'm at work, I'm not hungry, where I just feel like I'm just defeating myself. And, I got a whole family at home, so I need to have my mind, body, and spirit, all together. And me focusing on losing weight, that'll all come with the program when, boxing is my one lifestyle.
Right. Now, before we get into that, you've mentioned quite a few times, you train your mind. Kind of explain to the fans, like, what do you mean by that when you say you train your mind as well as your body?
Well, training my mind, I do a lot of different things. I coach kids. I'm a carpenter. I coach the kids in football, basketball, baseball. I got a family at home.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all different multitasking things that I got to do, and I got to do it with a good attitude.
Right.
When I was younger, I got in some trouble, a little bit of trouble, not too much, but, I always learn from the lessons that, from the mistakes that I've made. And I've always realized that there's another decision that you could make, So I'm always trying to be a thinker, I'm a Virgo.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm a thinker, and I'm always trying not to make the same mistake I made because I was angry or because this or because that. And I think that ties into my boxing. I'll get hit by a punch and I'm still humble and ready. I'm still got my mindset. I don't lose my head just because I got punched. This is a sport to me,
Right.
I can still fight one of the hardest fights with somebody, still shake their hand. I don't got to talk trash to go ahead and beat somebody up.
Right.
I just like to, I'm real spiritual.
Yeah.
So I train my brain, from the Bible and different things like that, man.
Gotcha. So, you talked about going in the fight with a clear mind. It's kind of contrary to your style. The moving forward, throwing a bunch of punches. But you say you like to keep a cool head. Do you think having being relaxed in there and having your wits about you, does that help you in the fight?
Yeah, definitely. Because you'll see a lot of fighters. You'll see them at weigh-ins. You'll see them. They're getting all rowdied up, punching themselves, banging on something. I mean, your heart rate going up.
Yeah. Wasting energy.
Wasted energy. They tired before the fight start, for real.
Mm-hmm.
You never really know it, but you're tired before the fight starts. Every time I'm, when the doctors check you before a fight, they check your heart rate, things like that. I know one doctor said, he was like, man, you got a California heart rate. I'm like, what that mean?
Right.
Like, that means you're going to win. You're relaxed. You about to fight, and you got to, you're good.
Yeah. So, I've seen a couple of your fights, been to one live, your most recent one against Adrian Taylor, like we talked about. And there are so many people there to see you. You sold out like the front 3 rows, I think, at your last fight. Multiple people all over the place. What do you attribute that to? Is it just the strong community here in Monroe?
Yeah, definitely, man. We got a really strong community of, Monroe supports athletes, honestly, like football, basketball, baseball. We got a small city, so it's kind of like Friday Night Lights,
Right, yeah.
Our high school, the stands was filled back in our day, for our football games. And, and I do a lot of positive things in the community. So with the sports and the things I do for the community, I've been bringing at least 200-300 people, from Monroe to the fights. And then I've been gaining fans that, that aren't from Monroe, from Detroit or from wherever. They're like, man, I'm flying out to see you anytime you fight. Like, I'm gaining people that, outside of my city. And I really appreciate the support, man, because that's what's moving me up.
Yeah. So, you talked about the strong community here in Monroe. I noticed a couple of your fights have been at community centers, or like Monroe Community Center and things like that. What's it mean to fight in front of your hometown fans like that? A small town like this throwing a professional fight's a big deal. What does that mean to you to bring that back to the city?
Man, it means a lot, man, because my thing is make history now. And I feel like that's something that always stuck with me. And I feel like that's something I did, like I was like an apprentice putting on a show here in Monroe. I put on a show that I actually fought in, So like from the napkins to the fighters and everything. Like, I had some type of part of it. Even, having the people at the door,
Yeah.
Like, I had to come and work the door just because I did like an online sales thing.
Right,
I'm pretty good with computers, and they didn't know what to do, so I was resting. They're like, "Oh, everybody's waiting at the door. We can't get them in." They're like, "Don't call Dee Millz. No, call Dee Millz. Go call it."
Yeah.
I ended up coming down here, working the door, got everybody in.
Yeah.
Still fought a good fight against a guy from Mexico. And this guy he was a really good fighter, actually. He had like over 50 fights.
Was that Thuran?
No, not Thuran. Not Thuran.
Just another guy in the win
Yeah,
column.
yeah.
But so we've gone through what you're doing now. You talked about how you got a family back at home. You're a carpenter. So you get that blue collar mentality definitely down. You train kids here at the community center, and then you train yourself. So or you do go through your training camp. How do you juggle everything? What's a normal day like for Dee Millz?
A normal day for me. Wake up, try to get a run in. Get my son up for school, get out, I don't know. It's busy, man. It's busy. I go to my son's baseball game, football game, take him out there. I'm help training his team, get home later at night. My wife's got food on the table, We work good as a team.
Yeah.
So it's a full day,
Every day, right?
Every single day.
Yeah. Now you say your son's involved with like local sports, and you're a professional athlete yourself. Do you feel like that gives you extra motivation to train harder and to keep winning these fights and push your career just to show your son, hey, I did it, you can do it. There's a way out of the hard spots of life.
Yeah, definitely. Especially how he's doing in sports too, and. I remember one time, because I don't really want him to box,
right?
But he's naturally down here with me when when I'm doing my thing, and I let him get in the ring one time with his buddy, and he actually was throwing the jab right. He was actually throwing his punches right with good form and stuff like that. We driving home like, "Son, where you learn all that?" Like, "Dang, Dad, I've been watching you."
Yeah.
What you mean? That's what's up.
Right. So, that's got to make you feel good,
right?
Yeah,
it does.
So, like I said, we talked about, where you're at right now in your career, but, how did you kind of get started in boxing? Something I learned today, Rico Hoy is your cousin. So boxing's kind of always been around your family, right?
Yeah. Boxing has been in my family, not so much my immediate family, because when I first got into boxing, I didn't know I had family really that boxed.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I had started boxing was because I was going into my 9th grade year, and I didn't have the grades, I guess, to play football. So that summer, like, I was out here in these streets basically hanging with my boys, and I know one of my boys had brought the gloves out, so we in the streets boxing, and I went one of the heavy hitters. He hit me he was southpaw. He hit me with a good left hand, and I just kept boxing.
Just took it. Yeah.
And they like, "Man, you should box. They got the program going on down here at the community center." And one of my buddies, his uncle was the coach, Keith Viney, who fought at the Crunk years ago, and I got down here and I stuck to it. It was kind of one of those sports for me then. Like, I would do football, basketball, and then, in between, I'd go over to boxing.
Yeah.
And that's how I finished school.
What was it about boxing that kept you around? Obviously, you're professional now, so, what was it that kept you around for all those years?
Well, I think mentally it was just a one-on-one sport. I didn't have nobody that could really hold me back from my potential. Like I say, I had that little problem, with football, where I feel like I could have been a Division I, Division II at least, football player, but I didn't get the opportunity that I wanted, And I think boxing just was something that nobody could take away from me.
Yeah.
And I was naturally pretty good. Like, I was winning fights, with, I would say, bare minimum training.
Yeah. Going up against guys with a lot more experience and a lot more fights than you, and still coming out winning.
I was just an athlete. Yeah.
Your trainer now, Todd Riggs. He's been around the sport forever. What has it been like learning under his tutelage and just guiding your pro career?
Man, it's been great. Todd is one of those guys that he's a really inspiring guy. He really pushes you to do the right thing, no matter what the situation is. Put God first. Do the right thing. And, then as far as boxing, his passion for boxing is just so strong, where it's like, go, go, go. You can do it. Mm-hmm. All positive things, And I think there's a lot of great leaders in my life that I appreciate like that. And, that's why I say mentally I'm ready for any situation.
Right. You had mentioned earlier in the conversation that your faith guides you a lot through your life, and I've known Todd for a long time, and I know that being a Christian is a big part of his life. Do you feel like that connection has helped you in your career and helped you grow?
Yeah, a spiritual connection, and kind of just being able to relate. If I'm having problems at home, or if I'm having a problem at the gym, or I'm having a problem anywhere, he's somebody I can go to and talk to, and help me get my head back together, and we can relate. Like, hey, I've been through things too, champ.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you got to do. And I really take in consideration to what people tell me. Mm-hmm. Whether it be Rico or my coaches or my dad or my grandfather. Like, I feel like I really take in consideration to what great people got to say.
Right. You
know what I mean? And I think that's what some people be lacking.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like you got a great team around you. It sounds like, big family man, right? Got a lot of support behind you. Does that help you, wake up every day and do that hard day at work and then come to the gym and spar hard and run hard and all that stuff? Does that support system behind you, it sounds like it really helps you out?
Yeah, definitely. Because like I say, there's people that wish they had one more day to go hard,
right.
And I use that motivation, especially when I'm tired and I don't want to get up. I'll be like, man, there's somebody that just died,
mm-hmm.
that wish they had one more day. What do I look like wasting a day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the motivation I
right.
go wake up with.
Now, looking up some of the clips on YouTube of you, and like I said, going through your record and the people you fought, you've kind of experienced it all with boxing. You've been to national championship level competitions in the amateurs, sparred top level guys. I found an old tape of you sparring Jalen Love when he signed with Floyd out over in Vegas. All these different experiences have brought you to today. What is there one experience that sticks out that kind of guided you and said, like, I'm gonna pursue this?
Well, I would say when I went to nationals, one year, like when I finally decided, yeah, I'm gonna go pro, guy Erskine Wade,
mm-hmm.
he was with
the Duck.
The Duck. He seen me at nationals, and I was kind of just being a humble guy, just quiet, just not who I am in the gym when I'm around a bunch of people I know.
mm-hmm.
The champ is here, da 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 da.
Yeah.
He was like, man, wake up, wake up, the champ is here.
Yeah.
And I just finally started hopping, getting that motivation, and didn't care who was around me,
mm-hmm.
And I really started feeling myself, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go pro
right.
after this tournament.
Yeah, if anyone knows Erskine, they know he's not a quiet guy.
Right.
he'll hype you up if you're not hyped. Trust me.
Right.
So you made the decision to turn pro. Obviously, you're at where you're at now, 17-0.
Yep, I'll be 17-0.
You'll
after
be
this
17-0.
next one.
That's what I was. So what's next? Obviously you don't want to look over your opponent, but you fought at Motor City Casino, sold it out. This will be, I believe, your second or third fight in a row here as the main event.
Yeah.
What's next? What do you want to see next in your career?
I really want to travel. I'm really ready to travel and fight. I'm really looking forward to that big phone call where they want me to fight, I don't know, Benavidez or, one of these top guys. Because honestly, I am the best fighter right now, man.
Yeah.
Like, I will challenge all these guys from light heavyweight to heavyweight. Like, my dream fight would be to fight Alexander Usyk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm ready to call these boys out. Who ready to call out?
We're gonna get to it. Is it recording still, Matt? So you were saying now you like to call out all these guys from light heavyweight to heavyweight. You said your dream fight would be Usyk, who obviously just won the world title. So I mean, that's probably a little bit further down the road. But is there anyone you see like in your way now that could build you up to that fight?
Anybody right now? I mean, man. Jai, what's his name? Jai Opitai.
Oh yeah. He's number one ranked cruiserweight right now, isn't he?
Yeah, number one ranked cruiserweight right now. I see he's a beast. I would love to, make it to that level. I mean, right now, I'm ranked number four in America now. I think like 40 in the world, something like that. I mean, I'm really ready to, take that big leap. Whatever comes next. Like, I'm in my prime right now.
Right. We had talked a little bit off camera. You're always under your weight. You said you'd love to make the cut to 75. Once you said you can put a full training camp together, not to worry about work or anything like that. You think that's something that's realistic in the future, coming down to light heavyweight?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, sometimes I come out of training and I'm 185. So, like, what's that? What's 10 pounds to a fighter?
Right.
Drop down to 175. I could do that definitely, and I'm ready for it. Like I say, once I can live boxing and I'm getting paid to live boxing, once it starts paying the bills,
right.
Hey, I'll do whatever it takes to fight whoever I got to fight.
Right. Now, going into your fight here next weekend, what can the fans kind of expect from this fight from Derrick Miller?
You can expect a TKO, KO type of fight. This fight. I'm gonna show some real experience, that I got. You can expect no bumps, no bruises. That's what I like to say. All these fights that I've had, no bumps, no bruises. I protect myself well so my mom can still see me fight.
Yeah.
I don't gotta hear her telling me, you should quit fighting.
Right.
So, I just like to, protect myself and outdo my opponent.
Yeah. Well, Derrick, we look forward to watching your fight. I'll definitely be in attendance at the soundboard here next weekend. Before we go, is there any social medias that the fans can find you on? Something you want to shout out? Give a little credit to yourself.
Yeah, follow me on Facebook, Dee Millz, Deemillz, Dee Millz. Follow me on Facebook. Subscribe to my Facebook. Support me by getting tickets from me. Follow me so I can keep you updated on what I got going on, whether it be community events or whatever. I'm still looking for some more sponsors for my next fight. We're doing some great things, so tap in.
Yeah. To the fans out there, especially these active fighters and local fighters, the subscriptions and the sponsorships really helps them out in their career, really helps push their career. So anything you guys can do to help support guys like Derrick and people in his position really goes a long way. That does it for this episode of Jab Journals, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.